Hi there, this is Jen, and welcome to the Pixie Dust Designs YouTube channel today. Today we are going to be using one of the really dies for Christmas in July, and I'm going to be using the Snowman Mug die, but I'm actually not going to use the snowman, but if you catch the end of the video, I will show you a snowman project that I made using that cute little snowman. But for today, we're just going to use the mug, and we're going to make a shaker card. And so I'm going to go ahead and grab my die that from my stash that is going to be used to cut out the window. This blue piece of cardstock is adhered to a white piece of cardstock just because the blue paper is a little bit thinner, and I wanted it to make sure it was a little bit thicker to not make any lumps or anything like that when I do my shaker. And then for my shaker window, I'm just taking a little bit of leftover plastic packaging and trimming that to fit onto or around that circle, just so it fits with enough on each edge, so I'm not having any of that shaker mix coming out. And then I am going to go ahead and use my tape runner to add adhesive around that window or the circle, and then I will go ahead and take that piece of plastic packaging and adhere that. You can also use liquid glue or double-sided adhesive as well. I just prefer my tape runner because it's easy and it's less messy than glue. I'm kind of a over gluer, and so a lot of times I tend to put a little too much glue on things and it oozes out, and so I didn't want that oozing out onto my piece of plastic packaging because then it would have clouded it up, and so that is why, long story short, I use the tape runner. And then I'm taking some 1/8 inch foam. I have removed the backing, which makes it really easy to turn and fit around that circle. And then I'm also going to add more of that same foam around all of the entire card, just so there's no lumpy bumpies when we go ahead and put our shaker together. And then I'm just going to go ahead and fit that on there and see how that looks. And then I went ahead and I cut out the spoon that comes with this set, and I cut out 2 pieces for this also, again, because some of the cardstock that I'm using is a little bit thinner, probably about 60 pound, and I want to make sure this is thick enough to handle everything that I'm doing. So I did take a piece of white cardstock and then a piece of a little bit of an off-white cardstock for my spoon. And I would have preferred to use some white glitter paper. Unfortunately, I did not have any. And so I'm going to go ahead and add my own little glitter to the spoon portion. So I'm adding some glue, and then I'm taking this mix. I think it's called a confetti mix. It's got all these little bits and pieces in it. And I chose this one because it's got some browns in it, and I thought it might be nice to use sort of like a hot chocolate, like there's a little bit of hot chocolate on the spoon. So I went ahead and added some glue and then added those little bits and pieces. And then what I'm doing now is taking a brush that I have dipped in my anti-static powder, and I'm just brushing that around the inside of the shaker to make sure that my little bits and pieces don't stick to the sticky side of that foam. And then I'm going to add, for my shaker mix, is going to be glitter, and so I'm using some distressed glitter. I don't recall the brown color. This is rock candy. The kind of white is the rock candy, and then I'm using a brown glitter for my shaker pieces. And I wanted the spoon to be on the other side, and so I did not actually put that in right just because I'm looking at it backwards. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on top of the foam just to give it a little bit of extra sticking power there, and then I'll add the back portion. And then when I flip that over, then I realized that I actually did not put the spoon on the side that I wanted it, but it works out. It's totally fine. And so I'm going to go ahead and just push that together and make sure that is secure so we don't have any little bits and pieces falling out. And then for the card, I am using a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece of red cardstock, and then a piece of pattern paper from my stash. And then I've gone ahead and cut another piece of pattern paper from my stash using a scalloped die. And I'll go ahead and adhere all of those pieces together. And then for the whipped cream topping, I am using a piece of, it's kind of like a shimmer paper a little bit, but I wanted it to be a little bit darker. I wanted that foam to be a little bit darker, and so I just took a Copic marker and colored over that. And what I mean to say is whipped topping. I think I keep calling it foam for some reason, but it's actually like a whipped cream topping. And so that is what I am adhering now. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab the holly and adhere that. And I am grabbing colors from that piece of pattern paper. It's got some red and teal, which is a beautiful color combination. And so I went ahead and created the holly with those colors in mind. So I'll just go ahead and add the berries now. And then I'm going to grab my candy cane, and the candy cane has 2 dies. One is a solid background piece, and then you have the detail piece, which is kind of the little candy cane slats, I guess you could say. So I went ahead and I made one candy cane with the negative pieces, one with the positive pieces, and I'll go ahead and add that. And then for my sentiment, I'm using the one, it says Warm Wishes. This is a sentiment from the mug die add-on. So if you watch my video at the end of the month, or you've seen any of the projects in the Facebook group, there is an add-on die for these mugs that allows you to make a little treat box. And so in that set, there are several different sentiments, and so that is where that Warm Wishes sentiment came from. And so I just went ahead and I adhered that to a tag, and then I'm going to use some liquid adhesive to adhere my cup to the card. And then to add a little bit of sparkle, I am using some stickles to add some glitter to the berries. And then I also added that cute little gingerbread man, and for the tag I just used a little bit of twine to wrap that around the handle of the mug, and that's going to finish off the card. I did also add some stickles around the card as well, those little red dots, and that's going to finish off this card. And here is the Snowman mug using all of the facial features. So really different looks that you can get with these. And then as you can see, the add-on die is this little piece in the middle that allows you to create a cute little treat box. And I will have the Santa tutorial for you at the end of this month on the Pixi Dust Designs YouTube channel. So I hope you'll join me for that. And if you need a little reminder, all you do is go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon, and that will remind you when new videos are posted on the channel from myself and the other design team members. So I hope you go ahead and do that, and we would love to have you. So that is it for me today. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks so much for joining me, and I hope to see you next time.